पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिनां मध्ये महाभारतम्।
Krishna starts with a beautiful 5 slokas, giving the whole technology for all of us to practice, all of us to experience what he is teaching. Let me give you the translation of the slokas which I read. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, amid pleasant and even unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion, aspiring to live in a spiritual way, detachment from the chaos, and giving the importance to the ultimate truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Long sloka, or long list. Let me be very clear. If you straight away start practicing all the qualities which he has given here, you will achieve one thing: madness. You can't start practicing these qualities. It will happen in you. All you can do is help the consciousness to happen in you, so that you will start radiating these qualities. For example, there's a muddy tank. You wanted to remove all the dirt. If you put your hand and try your best to take away all the mud, what will happen? You will make it only more muddy, dirty, and all the dirt which is below will come up. Instead of that, just if you put one handful of lime powder and wait, the lime will automatically take all the dirt and will go deep and settle down. You will have a pure water. Same way, your mind is a dirty tank. If you try to put your hand and do something, if you try to suppress it, fight with it, naturally you will create only more and more trouble, more and more problem. Instead of that, just put handful of lime in that and keep quiet. Means just put a little meditation and relax. Just put a little awareness and relax. Automatically the whole thing will settle down. Whole thing will settle down. The moment you become aware, the moment the witnessing consciousness starts, the whole thing will settle down. Please understand. Witnessing consciousness is the lime powder to make you understand or to purify your being. It's a lime powder. Just drop that lime powder and keep quiet. Automatically, things will settle. One thing. Usually, when we read this type of scriptures, books, straight away we start executing. Jesus says, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. The moment you read, what you start doing? You start executing. First thing, you neither understand that you don't love yourself, nor you understand straight away you cannot love anybody. Two things. First thing, you should love yourself. Next, you should have that mood or the consciousness from which the loving comes naturally. Love happens as an automatic process. One important thing, if you are true to your being, if you are true to your core, that is enough. Straight away you will be liberated. Just be true to your core. Ramakrishna says, if your mouth and mind, if both are connected by a straight line, means honesty, straight away you will be liberated. You are free. Already you are free. The big problem is, instead of creating that consciousness, we start creating the activity. You need to work on being, not on doing. Your doing is no way going to help you. Only your being is going to help you. Work on your being, not on your doing. See, a person who works on doing, he may continuously chisel is doing, but his being will be same old, struggling, suffering, fighting, suppressed. It will continue to suffer. Instead, if you work on your being, it will become like a flower. Automatically you will radiate that energy, that consciousness. If you understood the Diogenes story, same thing. In Diogenes story, he has never become slave. He has never become slave. Even though people thought he is enslaved, he is under the handcuffs. He never became slave. He was radiating his pure consciousness. In your life also, you never become slave. Even though people think you are not honest, even though after some time, by and by, you also start believing others' opinion about you. Others' opinion about you. You take their scale and you start measuring you. Then put yourself into trouble. That's what I call guilt. Guilt is nothing but reviewing your past decisions with updated intelligence. With present intelligence, when you review your past decisions, you create guilt. And you create more and more suffering. Here, all these things which Krishna says should happen in you. It cannot be done. You cannot do it. Please be very clear. Humility. First thing, that is what he says. Humility. Amanitvam. Humility can never be done. If it is done, it will look very ugly. If it is done, it will be very ugly. Only when you feel every being is unique. Please understand, humility will come only when you understand every being is unique. Not when you think every being is equal. There is no equal. Please be very clear. Every being is unique. When you understand every being is unique, automatically you start respecting. Because every being contributes something to existence. Everybody contributes something to the life, something to the existence. One important thing, even your enemy contributes for your growth. Please be very clear. Even your enemy contributes for your growth. Indirectly, but he also contributes for your growth. So never think somebody is waste. If he is waste, long before he would have been removed from the planet Earth. The moment you become waste, you will be removed from planet Earth. You are here as long as some way you are contributing. Some way you are contributing. So be very clear. When you understand every being is unique, automatically you radiate humility. You radiate humility. Pridelessness. That's what, one by one, all the qualities which is supposed to be radiated by you, by any seeker, Krishna explains. Acharyo Vasanam. Acharya Upasanam. And the another one, sloka, he says, Tat Vidhi Pranipadena Pariprasnena Sevaya. Approach an enlightened master with questions and requests to solve the questions. Questions and requesting him to solve the questions. Why? Why we should approach the master? What is the need? Again and again and again, the spiritual literatures, they emphasize on master, not only the Gita, whether it is Zen Buddhism or Jainism or Judaism or Islam or Christianity, again and again, the master plays some role. Why? Especially in Hinduism, Vedanta, not Hinduism, exact Vedanta, especially in Vedic system, master plays a major role. Why? Because unless you see somebody who is living in that consciousness, who is expressing that consciousness, your unconscious will never believe. Whenever you read these truths, you hear about these things, your conscious will believe, but your unconscious will say, all these things are old theories. Some book, some crazy guy must have wrote all these things. Your unconscious will never accept it. Your intellect and head, your head and heart will fight. Your intellect will say, no, these are all truth. Logically you are convinced, but emotionally you are not able to experience. Here, when you see a living master, automatically your emotion also will start experiencing. Your unconscious, which is continuously questioning, will become silent when you see a living master. With book, you will learn only through verbal language. With master, you will learn through his body language. He shows through his body language the life. He proves all these things are truth. He proves all these things can become reality in your life. You don't need to believe. You just don't need to believe. It is solid experience. It is solid experience. 3 things happens when you reach a master. First thing, it is possible to live in eternal bliss or the bliss consciousness. The possibility is given. The assurance, it is possible to achieve that state. That clearly is made to understand. We understand the possibility. First thing. Next thing, it is possible. By me, will it be possible? I know it is possible for him. Will I be able to achieve? That assurance also is given to you when you reach the master. Naturally, the first thing master will do is, when I can achieve, why not you? It's like that seed. Seed is afraid to break. It says, no, if I break, I may die. But the tree says, no, you have to break, only then I can come out. Only when you break, I can happen. The tree is waiting inside the seed and he is telling, please break, I have to come out. But the seed says, no, when I open, when I break, I may die. Who knows, tree will happen. Tree says, no, open, only then I can happen. Seed says, no, let you happen, then I will open. Master is a person who has become tree. In our life also, we are not afraid to take the jump if we know for sure that enlightenment is possible. We are afraid that we may end up in a situation where enlightenment also will not be there and this life also will not be there. We are only afraid of that insecurity, uncertainty. Small story. A journalist goes to a person who is candidate for president election. Journalist asks him, why do you, the journalist comes for an interview. He is giving a speech. He says, I am bright, I feel that my future is bright. I am sure my future is bright. Journalist asks, then why do you look so worried? Why do you look so worried? He says, my surety is not warranted. My optimism is not warranted. I am optimistic, but it is not warranted. We are also stuck in the same way. One corner we are optimistic that we may have experience, but the other corner we are a little afraid to take the risk. Master is a person who has become tree. He says, seed, don't worry. I was also struggling like you. I opened. See, I have not died. I have become tree. Open, you will also become tree. Who gives that confidence to the seed, who is around, who just sits around the seed and takes care. Don't worry, open. I am here. I have become a tree. You will also become a tree. Who creates an energy, who creates a confidence for seed to break and become tree. First thing Master will do is, when I have achieved, why not you? So naturally, it is possible by you, will be made to understand. You will understand that it is possible for you also. Third thing, the right space or the technology for that to happen. Automatically Master will create that space. Always the masters create these ashrams. Why? Ashram is a space in which you can break. The seed can break and tree can happen. It's like a operation theatre where you go and open and become a tree and start radiating. It's a space where in a controlled conditions or where in a very secure, safe way you can enter into that consciousness. These are all the works of the Master. And finally, ultimately, he makes you experience the truth which is in your being. So, first thing, he assures the possibility through his body language. Next thing, he makes you understand it is possible for you also. Third thing, he creates a space in which that can happen. Fourth thing, he sees that you are established in that consciousness. These are all the responsibilities of the Master. That is why, with the Vedic system, Vedic way of life, you are again and again requested to reach a living Master. Tat vidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. And here he says, Acharya Upasanam. These are made as a important guidelines for us to experience the technology. Next, he comes to the point. This is the straight point. Neyam yattat pravakshyami yanyatva mridamashnute anadimat param brahma nasattanna saduchyate. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal, the being, the beginningless consciousness lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Sarvada panipadam tat sarvado siromukam sarvada sriti malloge sarvamavritya tishtati. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the Paramatman exists, pervading everything. He is just explaining the technique. Let me finish these 2-3 sloka, then we will see the technique. Sarvendriya gunapasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarva bruschaiva nirgunam gunabhoktrucha. Paramatman is the original source of all senses, yet he is beyond senses, he is unattached. Although the consciousness is the maintainer of all living beings, he transcends the modes of nature. At the same time, he is the master of the modes of material nature. Karya karana kartutve hedu prakritiruchyate purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve heduruchyate. Here he ends. Nature is the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas living entity is the cause of everything, sukha, dukkha or nature, whatever you see in the world. Now, through these sutras, he puts us back to our consciousness. He means whatever you see is not you. Just go behind. If you are able to see the body, then step behind. Go behind. If you are able to see your thoughts, then go behind. If you are able to see your moods, then go behind. If you are able to see your emotions, then go behind. You are not that also. At some point, you will not be able to go further. You will realize there is nothing to go further. Suddenly, at that moment, the pure consciousness starts happening in you. Pure consciousness starts happening in you. Raman Maharshi says beautifully, whatever can be dropped, drop it. At some point, you will not be able to drop anything. Then hold that. That's all. Whatever can be dropped, drop. At one point, you will not be able to drop anything. There will be nothing to drop. Then hold that. That's all. Just witnessing the consciousness which is witnessing. Witnessing the thoughts which things you are witnessing. Going back and going deep into your very being itself. As long as your mind is thinking you are witnessing, please be clear, you are not witnessing. Because the thought you are witnessing is existing. No. It means you are not witnessing. Witness the thought that you are witnessing. Then pure inner space, pure uncorrupted, untouched inner space happens in you. In that uncorrupted, pure inner space only, the God happens, or the divine consciousness happens. Here, he gives us the technique. Purusha prakritistohi pungde prakritijan gunan karanam guna sangosya satasat yoni janmasu. The living entity in the material nature follows the way of life, enjoying the modes of nature due to association with the material nature, meets the good or evil among various species. Upatrashtanumandacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Paramatme Disapyukto Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. Yet in this body there is another transcendental energy who is divine, supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer, permitter and pure witnessing consciousness known as Paramatman. As on now, we are like 18 karat gold. Copper and gold mix. The more and more you put the 18 karat gold into the fire, fire means the witnessing consciousness. Witnessing. If you bring more and more fire, if you put the 18 karat gold into the fire, slowly it will become 22 karat. Again if you burn it, it will become 24 karat gold. Same way, if you put yourself into that witnessing consciousness, you will be purified to a certain extent. Again and again, when you put yourself in the witnessing consciousness, your inner space becomes completely, totally pure, like a 24 karat gold. Your inner space starts radiating, witnessing the witnessing consciousness. I think the essence of all religions, all spirituality, whole thing is reduced to this one sloka, and Krishna presents it. Krishna is presenting the master key which can open all the locks in this one chapter. Witnessing the body and mind, witnessing your being. Witnessing is the master key. I think if we can really enter into the technique, at least for a few minutes, experience the witnessing for a few minutes, you will know the taste of it. You will know the taste of it. How much you listen about witnessing, how much you talk about witnessing, how much you analyze about witnessing, unless you experience for a moment, you will never have the benefit. You will never have the benefit. Just believing will not do. You need to experiment. Small story. One guy was driving in the highway, midnight. Cop stopped him and asked him, "Sir, I think you are drunk. Did you drink?" He said, "Yes, just now I had completely 6 different items. Do you want the names? Few cans of beer, few brandies." He started giving the name. He said, "Stop. I think now I should take breath analyzer test. Please come out." This guy says, Why do you want test? Don't you believe me?" Whether you believe him or not, you have to do the test. Cop can't just stop doing test by believing him. So now, you can't keep quiet believing my words. You have to do the test. You have to test it with yourself. You have to test it with your being. Just reading or listening is not going to transform. Reading or listening is like a reading menu card. You see, you go to a hotel or restaurant. Will you come away just after reading the menu card? No. If you go away just after hearing, you read only menu card. You never ate. We read menu card. Now let us eat little bit. We had enough. We read the menu card from the beginning. Now it is time for us to eat little bit. Just let us finish these sutras. The last 1 or 2 sutras where he explains the things. Then we will enter into the meditation. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam stavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajnaya samyogat tadvidhi paradarshava. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam stavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyogat tadvidhi paradarshava. Bharata, know that whatever the movable and the unmovable is born, it comes into existence by the combination of kshetra and kshetrajna. Whatever you are seeing, the whole universe is by Maya and Atman, Prakriti and Purusha, the matter and energy, body, mind and consciousness. Yada prakasatyeka kritsnam lokamimam ravi kshetram kshetri tada kritsnam prakasayati bharata. Just like one sun illuminates the whole universe, similarly, Bharata, in all bodies, just one kshetra, one energy, one kshetranya illuminates the light of fire. He says, in all the bodies, consciousness is one and the same. Kshetra kshetranyayorevam antaramjnana chakshusha bodha prakriti mokshancha ye viduryandite param. Those who see with the eyes of knowledge the difference between the body-mind and the knower of the body-mind can understand the process and he is liberated from bondages of material nature and attains the Paramatman. Here he ends. If you can witness as a pure consciousness, you will be liberated from body-mind and achieve the eternal consciousness. Now it is time for us to witness. Let me explain the technique. You are going to witness your body movements, your prana movements, and your mind movements. Movements of your body, movements of your prana, movements of your mind. We may ask, what body movements we are going to have? Understand, continuously your belly will be going up and down by inhaling and exhaling. Always there will be a slight movement of your belly during your breathing. That movement, witness that movement. Witness that movement. Next, naturally the prana, inhaling and exhaling. Witness that also. Third, your mind. Thoughts will be going. Please don't judge your thoughts as right or wrong. For a few minutes, sit next to your mind like a friend, close friend. Let it tell whatever it wants. Let it speak whatever it wants. Just witness. Continuously we are always fighting with body and mind. You cannot get rid of body and mind by fighting with it. You can get rid only by friendliness. Only if you feel deeply friendly with your body and mind, you will be able to go beyond body and mind. Be very clear. If you feel the negative relationship or the enmity towards body and mind, naturally you will abuse the body and mind. You will have only violent relationship. Now, accept the body and mind. Witness the mind like a friend. Let whatever is there inside come out. What is the wrong? Nothing wrong. Just let it come out. Witness them. Neither support nor suppress. Just witness. Witnessing is like a fire. All the thoughts will be burnt away. See, if you support, you will be going behind the garbage. If you suppress, you will be analyzing the garbage and pushing them aside. Both is not going to work. Just witness, you will burn the whole thing. You will burn the whole thing. Understand? Neither following nor suppressing your thoughts will help. Just witness. Automatically you will go beyond body and mind. It is time for us to enter into the witnessing consciousness. Tomorrow we will work on the engrams. Tomorrow we are going to work on the engraved memories. How Krishna speaks intensely about the engraved memories and how to drop them, how to go beyond the samskaras. Samskara means engraved memories. And Tomorrow, I'll tell you a beautiful story of a great bhakta, a great devotee of Sri Krishna, Tarangini. About her, the Bhagavata speaks a lot. Tomorrow we will listen her story also, because her story is directly related to the samskaras, and how the very devotion can liberate you from all the engraved memories, all the samskaras. Tomorrow we will see the samskaras and the detailed story of great bhakta, great devotee of Krishna, Tarangini. Now, please get ready for meditation. Please sit straight. Witness the body movements. See very clearly how your belly is moving along with your inhaling and exhaling. See very clearly how your body is moving. Witness all the movements of the body. Feel the boundary of your body. See very clearly where your body ends, where the ground starts. Feel very clearly where your body is ending and the chair is starting. Feel the boundary of your body clearly. Witness all the movements of your body. Witness the movements of your inhaling and exhaling prana, air going in and coming out. Witness intensely. Witness the air going in, taking turn, coming out, again going in, taking turn, coming out. Witness all the thoughts moving in your mind. Whatever thoughts coming and going, witness all of them. Witness body, your prana movements and mind. Witness the body movements, air movements and the movements of the mind. Don't control the mind. If thoughts appear, let it appear. Don't suppress. Just witness. body and mind. When you go deep into your being, the witnessing consciousness automatically creates intelligence. Understand? You don't have to be in that mood 24 hours. Even if you had few glimpses, that is enough. That energy will guide your whole life. If you understand that silence which happens to you when you are witnessing, even for 1 or 2 seconds, you will have that taste and you will start doing it. And out of this 1 or 2 moments only, the great achievements, the energy to do great achievements happens. Understand? All great things are achieved only from beyond mind consciousness. Whether it is Einstein's relative theory of relativity or the great scientific discoveries, all great things, it comes out only when you are in that witnessing consciousness. Just now I was talking to Mr. Michael. He was telling me, Swamiji, when my best performance all comes out only when I feel that I am beyond body and mind. Just now he was talking. And he feels that only when he is beyond body and mind, he is able to perform the ultimate thing. Not only in the field of science, whether it is field of the art or science or spirituality or any field, when you are beyond mind, you bring the maximum out of your being. You deliver the maximum, and the ultimate expression of you happens only when you are beyond body and mind. At that moment, you are whole. Whenever you are whole, you are holy. When you become whole, you are holy. Understand, this is the only path to wholeness or holiness. So, he was quoting me. Even some other actors, what name you are telling? You told somebody was crying. Please tell. You told
Olivier.
Huh?
Laurence Olivier.
Oh,
Laurence Olivier.
Lawrence
Olivier.
Olivier. Sorry, I am not able to pronounce properly. He was quoting on actor's life from an actor's incident. Even he, it seems he did a beautiful performance. When he came out, he was weeping. Somebody asked him, why are you weeping? You did such a wonderful performance. Then he seems he said that I don't know what I did. The whole thing came out from the space which is beyond body and mind. Whether it is field of the art or science or spirituality, you deliver the ultimate thing when you go beyond body and mind. So, let us pray to the Parabrahma Krishna, ultimate universal consciousness, to give us all the inner space, the pure witnessing consciousness, to give us all the ultimate experience of witnessing consciousness, make us establish in the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devagi Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.